It's time once again for Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch my videos. Hopefully you'll find them informative, and when you go to your local bookstore you will seek the two books out that I'm about to mention. There are two mystery thrillers of the highest order, and these are definitely must-reads, and if you're going to read them, set some time aside, because if anybody calls you on the phone, you won't want to answer it. If something's on television, you won't care. The first book is David Baldacci's Long Shadows. This is published by Grand Central Publishing, and it retails for $37. In the past, I have sung or spoken the praises of David Baldacci. He is definitely one of my favorite authors. Every book that he has ever written, I have loved, and this book is certainly no exception. If you are unfamiliar with David Baldacci, where have you been hiding? Because he's written great books for decades, and every time out they seem to get better. This book is number 7 in the Amos Decker series. Amos Decker is also known as the Memory Man. Years ago, as a result of a football injury, he had the uncanny ability to remember every single thing that happened in his lifetime. At times it can be a blessing, at times it can be a curse. He also has the unique ability, he sees things visually, colors come to him, and when he sees death, he gets a very powerful shade of blue comes with the death scene. So he's gifted in so many ways. He's a former FBI agent, and he definitely does things according to his time frame and his style. Now, he has been given a new partner, which he does not like. The lady's name is Frederica Freddie White. She is a short black woman, and she's a single mother. She is a belt in karate, so she's not somebody who should be messed with. And originally, Amos Decker somehow is upset that he has to have a partner, so he doesn't treat her with respect as he should. Now, the two are partnered in looking into a murder. Actually, before this, I should mention earlier in the book, a former partner of Amos Decker calls Mary Lancaster. She's in the advanced stages of dementia, and she just needs somebody to talk to. She calls Amos in the middle of the night at 3 a.m., and she is going through her own private hells. And Amos tells her to hold on. Unfortunately, she doesn't. He hears the sound of a gunshot, and he knows she has killed herself. And so that sets him in a negative frame of mind to begin with. So when Freddie comes into his life, he resents her because he's lost a very dear friend and partner. But as we find out in the book, there's the murder of two people. Judge Julia Cummins is found stabbed to death in her bed. And there is a blindfold over her eyes, but the eye holes have been cut out. So it's not Justice is blind, she can see. So her bodyguard is found shot to death downstairs. He is Alan Draymont, but also found on him is Slovakian money has been shoved down his throat. So Amos Decker starts to think he doesn't believe the same person killed the two people in that house, because one was shot to death, the other was stabbed 10 times. So Amos and Freddie start checking into those who are associated with the deceased, and as in any David Baldacci book, it is very complex. There is a long network of people are related to the killings, but this goes deeper than just the two murders. There are, well, it's connected to Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, back in the 80s. It also is related to spies, infidelity, double crosses, you name it, it is in this book. And the cast of characters that Freddie, and Amos interview, it just gets more complex by the second. It is definitely one of the most complex books that David Baldacci has ever written. It gets more intriguing by the page, and each page you turn to, there's something different going on. So if you want a superior thriller, and I mean this is superior to many, many books out there, the book casts a long shadow in the literary world, and you've got to grab this book and read it as quickly as possible because, like I said, it is impossible to put down. And the second book of note, equally as compelling as Long Shadows, is What Happened to the Bennetts by Lisa Scottoline. This is published by Putnam, and it retails for $37. In the past, Lisa Scottoline has written some very interesting books. The Rosado and Associates series and others. She's a lawyer, former lawyer, and she definitely can write a great standalone book because a lot of her past books have been part of series. Now this is definitely a book that you should reserve time for because it's another type of book that you will not be able to put down. It involves the Bennett family. There is Jason, the father, Lucinda, the mother, Ethan, the son, and Allison, the daughter. And they have their dog, Mooney, in the car. They're just coming back from Allison's sporting event. Everybody is quite happy. And suddenly behind them, there's a truck that's tailgating them. And it's almost like it's ready to run them down. So Jason, he keeps to the speed limit, then he speeds up, and the truck speeds up, and suddenly it passes them and slams on its brakes right in front of them, blocking them in. Two people get out of the car, and they tell them that they want their Mercedes. So it's, he's not going to fight it, but suddenly Mooney jumps out of Ethan's arms, and it sort of spooks one of the gunmen. The gun goes off. Allison is hit, and she's in very serious condition. So before it all ends, one of the men, Milo, shoots his buddy George Varea Jr. and kills him, and he leaves the scene. So what happens is the Bennetts report this. They go home, and suddenly in the middle of the night, two FBI agents come to their door. They are Dom and Wiki, interesting names, and so they tell them they have to leave immediately. They're putting them in a witness protection plan, and they have to get out of there because the one that was killed, George Varea Jr., is part of the GVO, George Varea organization, and it is a drug trafficking, and the father is out for blood. He thinks that Jason was the one who shot his son when it was Milo was the killer. So anyways, they pack up in the middle of the night and they just disappear to parts unknown. And people start to speculate that Jason killed his family and buried them, and nobody can be told the truth, even their family. Now, Lucinda's mother is in a long-term care home, and she's not in very good condition, and she can't even tell her, that she had to disappear to save her life, because if other people know where they went to and who they're associated with, they believe their loved ones may be in danger too. So it starts the wheels in motion for an exhausting story. As you know, the organization will be after the Bennetts, and Dom and Wiki try to save them. But there are double crosses, and Jason figures he's had enough. He heads out, takes a car, and goes to confront George Varea Sr. to plead for the fact that he did not shoot his son. And it appears for a while that Jason might be killed, but he convinces George Varea Sr., who actually has a terminal illness, that Milo was the killer. He double-crossed his partner. So it is just an exhausting book. It's one like the first book that you will not be able to put down. This is one of Lisa Scottoline's best, and she's written dozens of books over the decades. And What Happened to the Bennetts is definitely a book that you have to read, along with Long Shadows. So those are the two books that I just wanted to draw to your attention. Definitely well worth reading. Let me know if you agree with me, because I'm sure you will, because they have not been getting too many negative reviews. These books are definitely must-haves, must-reads. So those are the two books that hopefully you will agree with me, and get down to your local bookstore right away, because they're going to go off the shelf fast, because they're bestsellers and they're selling out in a hurry. So until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and I'll see you again with two great books. Bye for now.